Okay, it's time then for our political budget face-off. Let's raise the big questions first. Is this the ultimate middle-class budget? Will the budget really kickstart growth? Does the budget have enough for job creation and income increases? Does the budget this time put politics above economics once again? Joining me now, Professor Gaurav Vallabh, leader BJP and someone who tracks the economy closely. Also Supriya Shrinate, national spokesperson of the Congress, also someone who tracks the economy closely for our party. And Jasmine Shah, national spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, has just written a book on the Delhi model. Thank you all very much for joining us. Let's start though with you, Supriya Shrinate, because I think the middle class budget is what it's being referred to by many pundits and commentators. They're saying the BJP has gone where the Narendra Modi government has not gone in the past, actually reached out to the middle class with a substantial tax relief.
So thank you very much for having me on the show, and it's a good evening to both my fellow panelists as well as your viewers. The reality is that this budget is going to make a bunch of 3.4 crore people happy, but what about the rest of this country? And I can go rattling data after data to tell you that what in this budget is going to kickstart growth. Yes, it is perhaps meant for those 3.4 crore people who will be made happy because, you know, the tax slab has been tweaked with and there is an exemption of up to 12 lakh. It will perhaps also make a lot of people in Bihar happy, and I have no qualms with that. But I am actually going to step back and ask you and point out in the direction of where are the fault lines, and nobody is talking about that, the pundits, so to say. The reality is that when we talked about economic slowdown, there was vehement opposition from the Treasury benches saying all is well. The revenue receipts are lower by over 41,000 crore rupees in budget 24-25. The tax receipts are lower by almost 27,000 crore, pointing to an acute slowdown. You then go on to see where are the places where this government has trimmed the budget. On health, on education, on social welfare, on agriculture, on rural development, on urban development, and even development of the Northeast. Let me point out a figure to you. Rural development, the budget was an X amount. It has been cut by over 75,000 crore rupees in the revised numbers for fiscal year 24-25. I then go on to point out what this government has done for the less privileged, the SC, ST, OBC community. PM Annusuchit Jati Abhyuday Yojana, the budget is down. PM Young Achiever Scholarship, the budget is down. PM Metric Scholarship for SCs, the budget is down. Program for Development of Dalits, the budget is down. Where is this government's focus?
No,
and
but
one
the
will
headline,
ask the question.
Supriya Shrinate, before I go to Gaurav Vallabh, the headline, the big headline, you've been someone who's been in the news media, the big headline is going to be, like it or not, the perception, the narrative that the middle class has got a huge tax relief.
Rajdeep, I remember the last time I was with you on the budget. The big headline was capital expenditure. You know, a figure of 1, and 3 times more 1. The reality is that the government has cut capital expenditure by over 92,000 crore rupees.
I'm asking you about the middle class.
In the new budgetary estimates. I am just saying what makes news is essentially not what will translate into economic growth. Okay. You have to grow at over 8% every year for the next 20 years if you have to achieve Viksit Bharat by 2047, not by 6.4% or a decadal growth of 6%. That is the bottom line. Okay. That is the crude reality.
Gaurav Vallabh, respond. Is the government, in a sense, therefore, while trumpeting this fact that, look, we've given the middle class this huge relief, not addressing the real questions which lie out there when it comes to job creation, when it comes to triggering of a faster growth? You are hoping and banking somewhere that middle class demand will rise, and also at the same time perhaps trying to appease the same middle class that has been complaining, hamare liye kuch nahi kiya Modi sarkar ne. Now at least you can claim we've given them this tax relief.
Rajdeep, the total impact to the revenue for giving this kind of concession is 1 lakh crore.
Yes.
Where this 1 lakh crore will go? It will go in the market. And you know the multiplier factor of this 1 lakh crore, at least 10 times. And I will give you how it is going to work. If your take-home salary is going to increase by 1 lakh, If my take-home salary is going to increase by 1 lakh, if my other co-panelists, whether working or not, I don't know, but if they are earning salary of, for example, 18 lakh to 20 lakh, their take-home salary is going to increase by 1 lakh rupees per annum. Where it will go, Rajdeep? It will go in the market. Our consumption is going to increase. For that consumption, MSMEs and the large corporates has to produce more. And when they are going to produce more, the GDP will grow, the employment levels are going to grow. This is point number one. Now coming to that, this budget had only focused on middle class. Rajdeep, MSME loan limits got increased from 5 crore to 10 crore. 10,000 crore rupees of fund for the startups. For artificial intelligence, 3 centers of excellence. For Kisan credit card, limit got increased from 3 lakh to 5 lakh. We are going to become self-reliant as far as the Dalhan Utpadan is concerned. So, tell me an area where this budget is not able to answer.
Got a Delhi election in a few days from now, large middle class population. Is this Prime Minister Modi's message to the middle class, or is it about using the middle class to revive the animal spirits of the economy across the country?
Rajdeep, if I am working in Trivandrum or Bangalore or Kochi or Jamshedpur or Delhi or Srinagar, up to 1,06,250 rupees of monthly income, no tax, no tax. So if in our country we are having every year election, then every year budget is going to be presented. Don't link it to the election. That is the reason we are telling that go for one nation, one election, which they are not accepting. Okay. So when LCD, LED prices will come down, when mobile prices will come down, when extra seats will be added in IITs, when 70,000 new medical seats will be added in next 5 years, is it going to only for one state or across the country?
Jasmine Shah, respond, because I come back to there's a Delhi election in a couple of days from now, and there's a sense that over the next couple of days the BJP in its campaign will say, look, we are fulfilling the demands of Delhi's middle class. Some figures put Delhi's middle class at 45%, some as high as 67%. Either way, has the BJP now with this budget at least got that election narrative in the next couple of days to take to the people?
Absolutely not, Rajdeep. And let me on your show burst this bubble that the Modi government has done something big for the middle class. Now, Rajdeep, you know very well for the last 10 years, ever since Prime Minister Modi took the charge, the middle class in India has been bleeding. All kinds of taxes have been imposed upon them. GST on daily food essential items, excise on petrol and diesel have shot through the roof, 3 times increase in the last 10 years. And to a dying middle class, if you come at the last moment and offer a small lollipop, you think you are going to wipe away their tears. Rajdeep, 2 weeks back, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal
is it a small lollipop or a substantially large one?
No, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you why. No, I'll tell you why a small lollipop. Because only 2% of people in India pay income taxes. Let's say the middle class in India is around 30%. A lot of people say that. Even only a fraction of this 30%, not even 10% of the middle class is going to avail of these benefits. What about the worries and the concerns of the remaining middle class? And I'll tell you what those concerns are. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal 2 weeks back iterated 7 key demands that would have impacted the entire middle class. Agar aapko middle class ki itni parwaa thi, to ye sare kaam karte. It was because of our pressure, Arvind ji's pressure, that even this income tax exemption limit has been increased. But he also said that remove GST on essential day-to-day food items. You have not done that. He also said that increase the budget to health and education to 10% of the budget, so that the quality is improved and people don't have to spend out of their pockets for education and health. We said that give some relief to senior citizens, have some kind of a pension plan and reinstore the 50% concession on rail ticket for senior citizens. Kuch nahi kiya inhone. Ek choti si lollipop de di, but the reality is, even if you keep aside the entire propaganda around the middle class, what about the rest of the country?
Gaurav Ballabh, headline grabbing, small lollipop, not addressing the core issues is the criticism. Those who are praising the budget are saying, look, yes, the middle class has got this tax bonanza, but the real issues remain out there. We've still seen stagnant incomes. We've still seen the fact is that a number of people have struggled with jobs. You've not addressed some of the core issues with health and education is what you're
I'm coming to that. I don't know why my friend from Aam Aadmi Party is against government employees, the people who are salaried employee. 12.75 lakh per annum, no tax for salaried employees. And he is telling we are against this move. I can't understand. This is beyond my understanding.
No, he's saying it's a small lollipop.
So 1 lakh rupees of saving per annum.
I'm saying
1 lakh rupees of saving per annum is small for Aam Aadmi Party. Because they buy the curtains for 6 crore, 20 crore rupees, toilet. So for them, 1 lakh rupees of saving per annum is small. But for a middle class people in Delhi, that is very important. That is very big amount. It may be small for you. It may be small for Mr. Kejriwal, but not for the middle class and salaried class people of Delhi and the entire country.
Supriya Shinde, you know, there is a sense that the Indian middle class has always felt, and you were once a news anchor who would also report, the middle class would often feel the budget doesn't have enough in it for us. Now the Modi government has put the middle class out up front. The president mentioned middle class word 8 times in a speech yesterday. Do you concede that that gives the government at least a major talking point today?
I mean, talking about the number of times the word is mentioned, Bihar was mentioned 6 times, my state of Uttar Pradesh was not even mentioned once. So let's not talk about how many times something is mentioned, because the specious argument that elections don't matter obviously is a big fat lie. Elections do matter, and which is why Bihar was mentioned 6 times and no other state of this country was. And over a 5-year period, by the way, the argument that was made, corporate tax, the revenue outgo was 4.5 lakh crore rupees. Not a single job got created out of this. And I want to put facts on the table. You are talking about a middle class. What does a middle class want? Middle class wants jobs. What is happening with jobs? The government, with much fanfare, launched PLI. PLI for Maiti, PLI for auto and automobiles, and PLI for textiles. I am giving you numbers here because I talk with data. Production linked incentive scheme for Maiti, a cut of 423 crore rupees, a cut of 3,153 crore rupees as far as PLI for auto and automobiles are concerned. Then a cut of new employment generation scheme, a cut of 3,200 crore rupees. Skill India. You know, we have to become Viksit Bharat. We have to create jobs. There's a talent deficit. Skill India program, budget earmark 2,686, spent 2,300. A cut of almost 370 crore rupees. I just want to go back to the point that I was making earlier. What sectors of the economy spur growth? The growth will come from rural India. Growth will come from urban India. Rural development budget slashed by 75,000 crore rupees. Where is growth going to come from?
Yes, Jasmine Shah, you tell us, what would you have done differently? You see, it's very easy to criticize the government. What would you have done differently?
Rajdeep, 2 weeks back, we've articulated exactly what the plan would be to, make the life of the middle class better, but also to make them the real superpower of India's economic engine. We said invest 10% of your budget in health and education. Do you know, Rajdeep, that today India stands at 180 out of 190 countries in terms of its health spending? And ye log baatein badi keh denge. In fact, I feel that this announcement of 70,000 new seats in medical institutions is a dangerous promise. And why? Because 40% or 50% of the faculty positions are not filled. Just 1 week back, Dainik Bhaskar did an article that all the universities in Rajasthan, government funded, more than half of the positions are vacant. Students are there learning through YouTube videos, or wo medical doctors ban rahe hain. This is their kind of vision for health. You know, the budgets have been going down. You can keep making promises and flying kite in open skies, but you are not allocating any money to health and education. That is how you will build a skilled India. That is how Indian human capital will attract some premium. One last point I want to make though, Prajdeep,
yes,
and this is very important because they say that ye Delhi elections ke liye inko koi fayda hoga. You look at their hatred for Delhi. For Bihar, they made so many announcements. For the people of Delhi, there was not a single thing. It shows that BJP hates the people of Delhi. Not even that. Delhi does not get even a single rupee of tax. You know, the people of Delhi contribute to around 2 lakh crore in all the taxes to the center. But not a single rupee. All the states get their allocation of taxes. Delhi ke logo ke liye unhone ek athanni bhi paisa nahi rakha. And it just shows that the kind of contempt that they have, that just because the people of Delhi did not vote them in the assembly elections, you will not give anything back to to the people of Delhi. केवल
Okay,
आपको बिहार के लोगों की याद
I've
आ रही
heard you. I've heard you loud and clear, Gaurav Ballabh. As we conclude, I think one criticism that has been there with the Modi government is they don't invest enough in health and education. The middle class is not just about ensuring a particular tax break. It's also about ensuring that there is human capital that's given emphasis. Supriya Srinath has given facts and figures to show that on specific schemes linked to health and education, government allocations have actually come down. And this has been a criticism of the Modi government over the last 10 years, that they haven't really invested in quality health and education to the extent that they should have. That's also what the middle class wants. If this is a middle class budget, where is health and education? Why don't you prioritize
Rajdeep, again, I'm getting a lot of surprises. The gentleman from Aam Aadmi Party is saying 75,000 additional seats in medical college. He's not excited with that. I'm sorry to hear that. But coming to the health education, I'm just giving the data from the budget document. And everybody on this panel, please check the budget document. On education, in FY25, the total allocation was 1.25 lakh crore. In this year, it is 1.28 lakh crore. It is increased. Then coming to health, in the FY25 budget, it was 89,287 crore. In this budget for FY26, it is 98,311 crore. All this data is from the budget document. Please check. Don't throw statements and run away from here.
Your biggest takeaway from this budget, the one thing that has stood out for you, Supriya Srinath, 30 seconds, you start first.
The fact that this government is still oblivious to the problems that plague India's economy, the fact that they are okay with growing at 6.4%, the fact that there is nothing in this budget that's going to move the needle on job creation, the fact that people here from the BJP are quoting from the budget as if we are getting figures from elsewhere. We are also quoting from budget documents, and budget documents prove that health, education, agriculture, rural development, urban development, as far as SC, ST, OBCs are concerned, the big flagship programs.
Okay.
You were talking about nuclear program. You have cut the budget on nuclear power projects. That's what you have done. The reality is you can keep looking away from the situations that plague the Indian economy. This fluster, this kite flying is not going to help us.
Okay, you made your point.
Absolutely no vision for what will take the country forward, because this budget gives a complete pass to health and education. They want that the people of India should spend from their own pocket on health and education, and whatever little this budget has done for the middle class, it is like giving a lollipop to a dying person. The middle class was demanding quality public services, health, education, give us relief from the essential, the GST that is being applied everywhere, petrol, diesel taxes, उसपे कोई बात नहीं करी, एक छोटा सा lollipop दे दिया, and absolutely nothing for the farmers or the youth or for the senior citizens.
Okay.
So that in nutshell, it's a visionless
I've heard you again
budget
loud
for the
and
people
I've
of
heard
India.
you again. Your time is up. Gaurav Ballabh, what's your biggest takeaway? What's the message the Narendra Modi government has sent out today?
1 lakh rupees of saving per annum to every salaried class household means indirectly 9,000 rupees per month of additional income for every salaried class employee of our country. This is point number one. Point number two, a strong thrust on MSME sector. When we say that loan guarantee for the MSME got increased from 5 crore to 10 crore, the capital availability was one of the major problem for the MSME. That issue got resolved. And last, this budget had a strong focus on the young India, when we are saying that in 23 IITs, 6,500 seats, when medical colleges will have 75,000 more seats, PM Research Fellowship, 10,000 students are going to get the PM Research Fellowship, and for startups, 10,000 crore rupees of additional fund. So youth, middle class, and the aspirational India, this budget answers the problems and issues for these three.
Okay, we've heard three sides, and that's three sides because that's the nature of the debate taking place also in the national capital, where elections take place a couple of days from now.
That's what this budget
Okay, Supriya Srinath, Gaurav Ballabh, Jasmine Shah, good to be back on a strong political debate with three fine voices. Thank you all very much for joining me. Thank you.